श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम अखंडानंद संबोधः वंदनात् यस्य जायते गोविंदं तमहं वंदे चिदानंदतनुं गुरुम्. So yesterday we saw the seven states and a different viewpoint of the seven states with respect to the waking, dream and deep sleep. We said waking, in waking itself, waking, dream, waking, sleep. And in dream, dream, sleep. And in sleep, dreams, waking, sleep, waking, sleep, dream, sleep. Okay? So, we saw these different states. And we also included one 10th state with the waking, dream and deep sleep. We called it Turya, the fourth state. Now, why do we call? See, I explained this is the reason. Okay, the fourth one is called as a Sattvapatti. Why it's a Sattvapatti? No, I didn't explain why it's Sattvapatti. Sattvapatti is dream state. Okay, and before that, whatever three, Shubhecha, Vicharana, and Tanumanasi, these three are a waking state. And after the later three, which is a sleep state, which is a asamsakti, padartha bhavana and turyaga. Okay, so except for the middle, this dream state, we have 1-to-1. Waking, dream, waking, sleep. We have 1-to-1 there also. Here also we have three states and three states. Sleep, waking, sleep, dream, sleep. Okay, we have three states. The middle state, Sattvapatti, the state of realization there, which is dream, we have to accept the three states in that itself. Okay, now why is it called? What is the similarity? Why is it called Śubhecchā, etc., called waking, etc.? So he says, śubhecchāditrayaṃ bhūmibhedābhedayutaṃ smṛtam. śubhecchāditrayaṃ bhūmibhedābhedayutaṃ smṛtam yathāvadbhedabuddhyedaṃ jagajjāgraditīryate. śubhecchāditrayaṃ bhūmibhedābhedayutaṃ smṛtam yathāvadbhedabuddhyedaṃ jagajjāgraditīryate. śubhecchāditrayaṃ, the śubhecchā, etc., three. śubhecchā, vicharana, tanumanasi. So these three, bhūmibhedābhedayutaṃ, these three bhumis are bhedābhedayutaṃ. They have duality and non-duality. It's endowed with duality and non-duality. The knowledge of duality and non-duality. How? Duality we know. We perceive the duality. But non-duality, because of the Shastra, we don't have the immediate knowledge, but we do have mediate knowledge. Because otherwise, if without mediate knowledge, how can you even enter the Śubhecchā? How can you even try to acquire the prerequisites? So you have some knowledge that there is something and I have to gain that. Okay? I have to understand what my inherent nature is. So that is that knowledge. So bheda, duality is also there, non-duality is also there. yathāvadbhedabuddhyedaṃ idam jagat jagajjāgraditīryate. So yathāvadbhedabuddhyedaṃ, like whatever is seen, whatever is seen as it is. If you accept like that, then you are accepting a reality for the world. So whatever is perceived as, whatever is as perceived, if you understand like that, then it is only your perception, not what it exists. Like people write a commentary on different Vedantic topics, Gita, Upanishad, etc. They say as it is. But the problem is it is not as it is. It is your viewpoint. I have even seen one fellow writing commentary on Bhagavad Gita saying this is talking about cooking. So the problem is it's your viewpoint. So the as it is means if you see the world as it is, then there is duality. If it is your viewpoint, then there is no duality, right? So yathāvadbhedabuddhyedaṃ. So it's like everyone has the natural duality. He is also seeing the duality. Okay, idam jagat, this jagat means this world means this state, this plane. Jagradītīryate. This plane is called as Jagrata. This plane of the three. Shubhecha, Vicharana, Tanumanasa. This is called as Jagrata, waking state. Okay. Now, coming to the dream state. Advaite sthairyamāyāte, dvaite cha praśamaṃ gate, paśyanti svapnavallokaṃ, turyabhūmisuyogataḥ. Advaite sthairyamāyāte, dvaite cha praśamaṃ gate, paśyanti svapnavallokaṃ, turyabhūmisuyogataḥ. Advaite sthairyamāyāte. Now, in the first three stages, the duality is also there, the non-duality is also there. Now, in this fourth stage is sattvapatti, brahmavapti, gaining the knowledge, atmavapti, the gaining brahmavapti or atmavapti, gaining the knowledge, gaining the self. Okay, here you are established in the self. Advaite sthairyamāyāte, sthirata, establishment. You have gained the establishment in the self. Because of the establishment in the self, the natural thing is for the duality to get lost. Natural. When the light is established, then darkness cannot exist there. So he says, Advaite sthairyamāyāte, when one is established in the non-duality, dvaite cha praśamaṃ gate, the duality gets lost. It disappears. Now, turyabhūmisuyogataḥ, because he is staying in the turyabhūmi, the fourth plane. Sattvapatti is fourth plane. So, because he is staying in the fourth plane, lokam swapnavat paśyanti. This fellow sees the world like a dream. World like a dream means you know the dream is not real. Similarly, he understands even if he sees the world in different ways, he sees that world is not real. So, because we have three different states in swapna: dream, waking, dream, sleep. That is why, because he is having the vasana, we have to understand that also. Manolaya, manonasha, vasanakshaya, and fourth I added one more thing is manorajya. So manolaya, we have to gain control of mind. Then manonasha, we have to destroy the mind. Then vasanasha, we have to get rid of all the thought imprints. By getting established, how can we get rid of? Okay, getting established in the south, north is as well lost. So by getting established in the knowledge, all the vasanas are destroyed. So vasanakshaya, and fourth one is nothing to do with these kind of things. It is manorajya, daydreaming. We have to be very wary of that. So he says, Advaite sthairyamāte, when one gains establishment in non-duality and the duality is lost, then the fourth, because of being established in the fourth plane, he sees the world as like a dream. Okay. Now, fifth, pañcamīṃ bhūmimāruhya suṣuptipadanāmikām śāntāśeṣaviśeṣāṃśastiṣṭhedadvaitamātrake. Pañcamīṃ bhūmimāruhya suṣuptipadanāmikām śāntāśeṣaviśeṣāṃśastiṣṭhedadvaitamātrake. I was explaining something in Hindi and Tamil. I understood. I saw something strange here. I expressed this before also. Every time he talks about the fifth plane, he says, what is fifth plane? Sattvapatti. Is it? No. Sattvapatti is fourth plane. Asamsaktihi. Right? Asamsakti is the fifth plane. Asamsakti, padartha, bhavana, and turyaga. Asamsaktihi. Asamsakti namika. Every time he speaks about fifth plane, he says namika. That which is called asamsakti. Fifth plane. Fifth. Pañcamīṃ bhūmimāruhya, pañcamīṃ, fifth, chinch. Okay. So, suṣuptipadanāmikām, he is adding again the namika. Namikām, that which is named suṣupti. Why is he adding this? That which is named, except in the fifth, he is not adding this to anyone. Not for the sixth, not for the seventh, not for eighth, nothing. He is adding only for the fifth. So we understand, we can interpret it in this way because it's a useless word otherwise. And I don't see Bhagavan Bhashyakara using any useless word. It's a smart way of giving you a hint. That which is called supti or that which is called asamsakti means that it is not real. It's called so, but that's not real. That is not real. If the fifth itself is not real, then why do you want to discuss about sixth and seventh? They are also not real. You understand? He wants to give us a hint. That is why he is adding the padanāmikām, that which is named. That which is named. So he says suṣuptipadanāmikām, that which is that state which is named supti, the state that which is named supti, pañcamīṃ bhūmim, which is the fifth plane. Aruhya, after gaining that, śāntāśeṣaviśeṣāṃśastiṣṭhedadvaitamātrake, all the different attributes. Vishesha, the difference, the adjectives, the different attributes. Visheshamsha, ashesha, completely. Shantah, completely gets extinguished. When all the attributes disappear, when they completely go still, then advaite, only the non-duality remains. When all these get extinguished, disappear, and only the non-duality remains, he stays in that state. Who? The one in the fifth plane. So what is that? He says, in the fifth plane, that which is called as supti, one who has entered that, one who is established in that, for him all the duality is lost and he gains establishment in the non-duality alone. Okay? Sixth plane. What is sixth? antarmukhatayā nityaṃ ṣaṣṭhīṃ bhūmimupāśritaḥ pariśrāntatayā gāḍhanidrāluriva lakṣyate. antarmukhatayā nityaṃ ṣaṣṭhīṃ bhūmimupāśritaḥ pariśrāntatayā gāḍhanidrāluriva lakṣyate. Beautiful. ṣaṣṭhīṃ bhūmim. Sixth plane. Padartha abhavana. Upāśritaḥ, one who has gained that, one who is established in that. Nityaṃ antarmukhatayā. He is always, you cannot call the mind is always turned inwards. That's a stupid way to say. Because the moment he gains the knowledge, the mind is destroyed because there is no cause. Okay? So, his vision is turned inwards. That is the idea. His vision is turned inwards. He is not seeing the world. So at least in the previous, he sees the world as non-duality, but here he does not see the world. And we said he is in the meditation, in the samadhi, when he wakes up or he comes out of the samadhi, he sees the world only when somebody pulls him out of that state. Okay? So this is nityaṃ antarmukhatayā, because of the practice of perceiving internally, parishrāntatayā. Parishrāntatayā antarmukhatayā. Because see, you have to see. Normally, parishrāntatayā gāḍhanidrāluriva. That is how they interpret. Because one is very tired. Parishrāntatayā means because one is very tired. Gāḍhanidrāluriva. He enters the deep sleep. A person enters deep sleep because he is very tired. Parishrāntatayā. But parishrāntatayā also can mean because of great effort. Antarmukhatayā. He has his mind, his vision turned inwards. Understand? Because this is what is the important thing. We have to put forth effort, not for the knowledge. Knowledge is gained, but after the knowledge, what is after knowledge? There is no after the knowledge. But the thing is, we have to be very careful because of the vasana. Sometimes it is said, the vasanas, that is what. So we have to be careful of the vasanas. You are once you gain realization, you are gone for the world. You are not going to come back. You are not born. Over. Your search is over. How do I know my search is over or what? You don't have to have a certificate that you are realized. You know. I know. That's all. There is no. No. It is I-K-N-O-W. Okay? So, gāḍhanidrāluriva. Because one is tired, one enters the deep sleep. Similarly, this fellow also is perceived to be in sleep. Okay? kurvannabhyāsametasyāṃ bhūmyāṃ samyagvivāsanaḥ turyāvasthāṃ saptabhūmiṃ kramātprāpnoti yogirāṭ. Not getting pulled by the worldly things is what is that we have to do. That's all. So I told you, there can be some shock and jerk sometimes when things come in front of you. Like you see that, oh, no, it is only rope. It's not snake. That jerk, that shock that you gain sometimes, that is lost. That should be lost. That is what the point is. So you have to practice for that. kurvannabhyāsametasyāṃ. He is repeating that again. kurvannabhyāsametasyāṃ bhūmyāṃ samyagvivāsanaḥ turyabhūmisuyogataḥ saptabhūmiṃ kramātprāpnoti yogirāṭ. Etasyāṃ bhūmyāṃ. In this state, etasyāṃ bhūmyāṃ. So only the one which is adjective, unjectified, they are always in same case ending. Etasyāṃ bhūmyāṃ. That is why I interpreted pariśrāntatayā antarmukhatayā. Okay. Now, samyagvivāsanaḥ kurvan. In this state, in this statement, in the sixth state, samyagvivāsanaḥ kurvan, practicing it nicely. By practicing it nicely, nivāsanaḥ, one who gains establishment in that, antarmukhatayā, having the vision inwards, yogirāṭ, this greatest among the yogis, we know what yoga is. So that yoga, we are not talking about the other yoga, samadhi yoga. The person who is established in the samadhi, the greatest among the one who is established in samadhi, turyāvasthāṃ, saptabhūmiṃ turyabhasthāṃ kramātprāpnoti. He gains in order. That is the next stage. So in order, he gains the seventh stage, which is called as turya. Okay. So that is the practice we need to do, to be established, not to be pulled by the worldly things. videhamuktirevātra turyātīta tashocyate. And videhamuktireva turyātīta tasho. So turya is the seventh stage, turyaga. Okay. Now, jagrata swapna suṣupti turya over. Now there is a state beyond that. Turya state is your jivanmukti's final state. Now there is a state beyond that, which is turyātīta. Turyātīta, beyond turya. Beyond turya is called as jivanmukti, the videhamukti. See, jivanmukti and videhamukti. Jivanmukti means liberated while alive. Videhamukti, vigata deha videha, lost the body. After the body drops dead. This is the idea normally. Okay, while alive, after the body drops dead. So every element goes and merges in the other element. That is what the Upanishad says. They take it. But in reality, videhamukti and jivanmukti, there is no duality. You will understand it yourself. You cannot see videhamukti and jivanmukti to be different. Vigatadeha means when there is no association of the body. Yes, not only after the death, even while living, you will not have the association with the body. Then where can be videhamukti and jivanmukti be different? Okay. Now, what videhamukti suddenly? So, since he popped one new word suddenly, he is trying to establish it in next two shlokas. He'll be coming back to videhamukti later. Okay. Yatra nasat nasacchapi naham napyanaham kritihi kevalam kshina mananaha āste'dvaite'tinirbhayaḥ. Yatra na asat na satcha api na aham na api anaham kritihi kevalam kshina mananaha or kevalam kshina manena. Kevalam kshina manana is better. Okay. Aste kevalam kshina mananaha aste or kevalam kshina manena aste. Advaite kshina manena aste. Advaite atinirbhayaḥ. Yatra na asat na satchapi, where there is no asat, non-existence, not even existence, where there is neither existence nor non-existence. Na aham na api na anaham kriti, there is neither ego nor absence of ego. There is no ego or absence of ego. So this is what is said in Vegachudamni. Satchapya sannapya sannapya bhayatmikano bhinnapya bhinnapya bhayatmikano. With that he said, it is neither existence, nor existence, nor both. It is neither different, nor non-different, nor both. That is what is said here. Okay. Now, kevalam kshina mananaha, devoid of any kind of thoughts. Manana means manu abodhane, to think. Devoid of any thoughts. Or kevalam kshina manena. Kshina manena. When only with a destroyed mind, with the mind destroyed means not broken. With absence of mind, annihilated mind, āste'dvaite'tinirbhayaḥ advaite āste. āste'dvaite'tinirbhayaḥ, completely free of fear, advaite āste, he gets established in the non-duality. So what is said is it's neither existence nor non-existence. It's neither ego nor absence of ego. Without any mind or thought function, fearless, he gets established in the self. This is videhamukti. And another example for videhamukti. Two examples actually. It can be seen as one. Antah shunyo bahih shunyah shunya kumbha ivambare antah purna bahih purnah purna kumbha ivarnave. So the perspective, when we say the cup is half empty or cup is half full, it's all perception, right? Similarly, the perception here. Antah shunyah bahih shunyah shunya kumbha iva ambare antah purna bahih purnah purna kumbha ivarnave. Ambare, in the space, you keep a pot. What is inside the pot? Nothing. What is outside the pot? Nothing. Right? So, ambare, in the space, shunya kumbha iva, like an empty pot. Antah shunya bahih shunya. Internally it is empty and outside also is empty. In an empty pot, internally, externally it is only empty. Okay? Now, you can call shunya is the self. Or arnave, in the ocean. You put the same pot in the ocean. What happens? Inside is filled with ocean water, outside is also filled with ocean water. So he says, Purna kumbha iva antah purna bahih purna. Like the filled pot, it's internally filled and externally also filled. Absolute. Okay? So that is the state of a videhamukti. There is no duality, even perceived duality does not exist. That is the idea. Okay. The only limiting factor, the differentiating factor between Jivanmukti and Videhamukti, if at all you can say, is the perception of body, sense, organ complex. Yathāvadbhedabuddhyedaṃ sarvam vyavahāravato'pi astam gatam sthitam vyoma sa Jivanmukta uchyate. From here he is going to talk about what Jivanmukta is. Who is a Jivanmukta? Who is a person who is liberated while alive? Okay. Yatha sthitam idam sarvam vyavahāravato'pi astam gatam sthitam vyoma sa Jivanmukta uchyate. Vyavahāravato'pi, even if he is in the transaction, in the transient world, he is doing the transaction in the world. Yatha sthitam idam sarvam. Even if he is yatha sthitam idam sarvam, all this as perceived, not as it is, as perceived. I told you the difference between as it is and as perceived. So as perceived, astam gatam vyoma sthitam. Astam gatam vyoma sthitam. Like everything, whatever is perceived, they astam gatam, they all disappear. Okay, and vyoma sthitam, like the ether which is existent everywhere, this one self exists. All these duality disappears. Sa Jivanmukta uchyate. Is there any difference? World of duality is lost. So sa Jivanmukta uchyate, he is called as Jivanmukta. Okay. Now there is a valiant point. One is where he does not see any duality. Okay. Now. And I said that can be the only difference between Jivanmukta and Videhamukta. We'll understand that. No deti nastamāyāte sukhe dukkhe manahprabha yatha praptasthi yasya sa Jivanmukta uchyate na udeti na astam āyāti sukhe dukkhe manahprabha Yatha prapta stitihi yasya sajjanmukta uchyate. Who is sajjanmukta again? So he says, yasya sukhe dukkhe manah prabha na udeti. For whom, when he is happy or when he is in grief, sukhe dukkhe manah prabha, prakasha, the effulgence. The effulgence from the mind. Effulgence from the mind is effulgence ray. Ray from the mind. Effulgence ray. Ray from the mind or effulgence from the mind means thought function. Thought function from the mind. Wait, thought function from the mind. Mind transforms into thought function. That is what we keep repeating. But we said it starts wherever it starts from. It doesn't quit from that place like a rocket. It doesn't launch and go away, disassociating itself from the source. It keeps its contact with the source and elongates like an elastic, right? So that source is what we call as mind. Okay, so the mind transforming into thought function, that state does not happen. That is the mind. So for it to transform, therefore, na udeti na astavayati. The mind does not arise nor does not set. The thought function does not arise, the thought function does not set. Mind is not there, there is no thought function. Yatha prapta stitihi sa jnanmukta uchyate. It stays as it is. Meaning in the source itself, in the self itself. What is the source of mind? The self. So in the self itself, it stays put. Sa, he is called as jnanmukta. Yo jagrati suṣuptipadanāmikām yasya jagratna vidyate yasya nirvāsano bodhah sa jnanmukta uchyate. Yo jagrati suṣuptipadanāmikām yasya jagrat na vidyate yasya nirvāsano bodhah sa jnanmukta uchyate. This is a very interesting thing. Actually, this shloka is a very interesting thing. Yaha suṣuptipadanāmikām jagrati. One who is suṣuptipadanāmikām. Suptihi stha. Supti means sleep. Stha, existing. While existing in the sleep, jagarti, he is awake. One who is awake even in sleep, that is one statement which is so complicated even than a Kwan of Zen Buddhism. If you are awake, you cannot be asleep. If you are asleep, you cannot call yourself awake. That is like people who just lie down and sleep. They sleep, they go to sleep. And suddenly, you said, I'll just close my eyes for 2 seconds. You said, I'm not going to sleep. I didn't sleep. It's like that. If you are asleep, you cannot be awake. Whether it is for you or even if it is for God does not really matter. Then what is said here? Is this wrong? It is not wrong. We know that the one who is in the waking state is in the dream state, is in the deep sleep state. So that idea, that knowledge of existence is not lost on him. We use the mind. Our mind enters the nadi, enters the kurma nadi, they call it. The kurma nadi. If it enters the kurma nadi, then it is dream state. If it goes into the heart, then it is deep sleep state. If it is on the tip, then it is waking state. Kurma nadi is one nerve, one spiritual nerve. It's not a physical nerve, it's a spiritual nerve. Okay. So in the tip, it is waking state. When the mind enters it, then it is called as dream state. When it is inside the source, the heart, then it is called as deep sleep state. Now, though in all these states, he does not lose focus of himself. Okay, he understands. How can that be? Yasya jagratna vidyate. That is made very clear. For him to be awake, even in deep sleep, there should be a state of waking. Yasya jagratna vidyate, for whom there is no waking state itself. So the idea of calling in dreams, in deep sleep state, he is awake is just a word game. That's all. There is no waking, there is no dream, there is no deep sleeper. There is only self. Okay? Yasya bodhanidrāluriva. Why? Because his knowledge, whose knowledge is without any thought impulse. Sa jnanmukta uchyate. He is called as jnanmukta. Ragadvesha bhayādīnām. I didn't understand that. he is in the he is asleep, but he is sleeping, and the mind does not wake up. It just stays as it is. But whatever is as it is, it exists. What does that mean? So, to make all that clear, he is giving one beautiful sloka. Anurupan charan api yo sa jivmukta uchyate raga bhayadinam anurupan charan api yo antaha vyomavad atyachaha sa jivmukta uchyate. This is one beautiful shloka which will make many things clear. Raga dvesha bhayadinam, in the state of desire, raga, dvesha, hatred, bhaya, fear, etc. All the other different kinds of emotions. Whatever emotions be. So he'll be emotionless. That is not what is said. Then there can be no. What kind of picture can you make out of that Jivamukta? He cannot smile because there is no emotion of happiness. He cannot be not smiling because there is no emotion of hatred or anger or non-happiness. So it is impossible to picturize such a state. So he says, Raga Dvesha Bhayadinam, in the state of anger, in the emotions, different emotions, whatever be emotion, desire, hatred, anger, etc., whatever it may be. Anurupam Charan Api, even though he may act as it is. What does that mean? See, what will we do when we are happy? We smile. When we are, when we want to show our hatred, we show our anger. When we are afraid, we show our fear. So, even in all these states, whatever be the states, in those states, even though he may show all that, he may smile, he may laugh, he may show his anger, he may show his hatred, nothing. Vyomavat antaha atyachaha, one who remains pure, unblemished, untouched, like the space, ether. Ether is one that which is not tainted by any color or any impurity. Akashat talamalnyadi dushyante. In the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, he says, Balaha, the kids, they see talamalnyadi dushyante. In the space, they see the floor, ceiling, or the dirtiness, etc. But space is never associated with any dirtiness or color or any ceiling, etc. So similarly, these things, though he may act so, it doesn't taint him. Example, Krishna was always behind gopikas, women. That is what people say. Oh, he was a womanizer kind of. He was always with women. Some women or other, or women are always behind him. And Rama, so jolly man. Rama, a very sorrowful man, painful, in a painful state, crying for Sita, lost Sita and crying for Sita. Sita, 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 Sita. Now, neither the happiness nor sorrow tainted them, their inner purity, their self. When asked about it, Rama or Krishna, they both say, that's the question they were asked. You are the self, then what are you doing all this? He says, this is what he says. Ragadvesha bhayadinam anurupan charanapi, though they act as though they are afraid, they desire, they hate, etc. Still, ya antaha vyomat atyachaha, one who is pure, unblemished in like a space. Sa jivamukta uchyate. He is called as Jivamukta. We'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.